All right, what's up, everybody? This is episode 6 of the Deadclocks podcast. We've been away for a minute. Still not quite back on schedule, but trying to get there. Next week, I think we'll be back to a real schedule, a real full episode. But we kind of wanted to get here quickly and
We're still
touch
recovering.
on
We're recovering from
recovering from
from the
Mania.
debacle
Yeah,
that was WrestleMania
it's true.
41.
That's true. Well, let's get into it. What are your thoughts on it? It sucked.
Overall, it was a decent show, I guess.
There were some decent moments.
If I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it a 6.
Yeah, that's probably what I would go
Just
to.
about a solid 6.
Yeah, not
just
anything better than that.
The main event from night 2 was it was such a swerve to the people of what we all thought was going to happen, anticipated, and whatever issues they're having behind the scenes, which a lot of people were anticipating, is with The Rock or Triple H, and they can't get on the same page, I guess. It really caused a lot of letdown of what we all wanted to happen
it wasn't
see.
good. It wasn't good. When I was a kid, I used to hear them complain about how like Jay Leno was involved in WCW, and Jay Leno puts Hogan into like a what do you call that? One of these deals where he has his arm on the side, he's twisting it.
Oh yeah.
There's a name for it, but and Hogan's selling it, and everybody's like, "You're killing the business," because Jay Leno was like,
a talk show host.
Yeah. That's how I felt watching Travis Scott in the ring.
Right.
Go face to face with Cody Rhodes, and it's just not. I never thought I'd feel that way. It's like I always thought, even as a kid, I was like, I understand that the entertainment aspect of it, that like Jay Leno is famous and they're trying to get him into the ring because it brings eyes to the product.
Right.
But now I'm like, man, it's not believable in the slightest.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not good business.
He's just like 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And coming out and like, I don't know. That's a big. He's just a regular. I mean, he's a rapper, obviously celebrity type, I guess. But to come and have that much of a impact on the main event.
Yeah, the main event.
And I don't know about that. So obviously they're going to do something with him in the future, I guess. Maybe be a part of the company. He might wrestle at one point. I think that's the ultimate goal with him. But
especially because there's been zero explanation as to why he was there whenever Cena turned. No, I mean nothing. No explanation as to why he was in the ring.
Yeah,
he wasn't involved in any of the promos along the way.
Right.
Nothing. And then all of a sudden he's just there again.
Yeah.
For no reason. There's no explanation of why. Why is he friends with Cena? Why is he doing this for him?
Right, exactly.
Well, it's just nothing. It's not good. It's not good. And the match wasn't great anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of slow.
Yeah, but I hate matches with a whole bunch of finishers. Just to me, I mean, what's your finisher mean if it gets kicked out of 3 times before you finally pin a guy with it?
That's WrestleMania.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right.
No.
I thought we'd see 3 crossroads and Cena kicks out of that. Like, I don't think people would ever kick out at 3. That's like his kind of thing, that I know of anyways. But
I hate that. I hate it. Can't stand it.
Yeah, man. It was just, everything else was okay. The other, I think the best match, honestly, going back and kind of looking at it, the best match out of the whole 2 nights was either the women's triple threat.
Okay.
With Io Sky, Rhea Ripley.
It was good.
It was actually really good. And then besides that one, the other triple threat, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's probably the best match for me.
They were both really good.
Although, would you call it predictable?
The ending where Seth aligns himself with Paul Heyman, yes, that's kind of what we assumed would happen.
It was predictable, but I think they did it about as good as you can do it.
Yeah.
Because even though I assumed he was going to align with Heyman at the end, when Heyman brings the chair to the ring, I wasn't 100% sure who he's going to give it to. And he gave it to Punk. I like the way they did it because the chair allows Punk to. How do they do it? He took out Roman temporarily.
Yes.
And then.
No, I'm sorry. He gave the
low
chair to
blows
Roman.
him.
Yeah.
He gave the chair to Punk.
I'm sorry. He gave the chair to Punk.
Then he low blows him.
Right.
And then Roman grabs the chair.
Yes.
Or whatever. He gives the chair to Roman.
Right.
He takes Punk out, so that gives Punk a reason to be out of the match.
Right.
And then when you're gonna get Rollins, he loves his face the whole time. It's killing me. Yeah. But no, I think even though it was predictable, I think they did it about as good as you could do it. It was a good match. I enjoyed it.
The elephant in the room with everything, I guess, especially with a big pay-per-view like this, like WrestleMania, is everybody's never going to be happy one
That's
way
true.
one way or another. But the writers, the creative team, or whatever, like I don't envy them. Like we always have ideas, be like, man, I wish they would do this and you do this, but to actually go out there and like, hey, this is what's finalized, and like we're going with the story. Like they also got to think ahead and what are we going to do and stuff like that. Like that's hard, man. It's a lot of stuff to do.
I'm sure it's not easy. Yeah, definitely.
But you can't please everybody. So
you can't. But I think I don't know if I know of anybody that walked away from WrestleMania saying like, man, I loved what they did there.
Well, I think initially, or like I said, originally, The Rock was supposed to have some part of it in it.
Seems that way.
But then they had their issues or whatever it was, and they couldn't really do nothing about it. I think he was making a point.
But what I guess my point is that really the best you can come up with your whole room of writers?
If your whole storyline build from Elimination Chamber involves The Rock and the storyline with Travis Scott or whatever, and at the end, like the last month or so, they have issues, and he's like, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm not being a part of it. What can you do? Like, what else can you do?
You just don't involve him at all.
But he's a big name.
So
it's WrestleMania.
I don't know.
Okay, so people are upset that he came out, Travis Scott, and was involved and had a part in deciding this match. But let's say he didn't come out, there'd be even more question why he wasn't there either. Even though people don't like him or care for him in this situation, but imagine if Cody just lost to Cena like in a normal singles, no stipulation match, no whatever, as the main event without any kind of interference, without anything. That still would have been kind of weird to me.
What if he wins?
Who?
Cena.
No, that's fine. He won. I mean, regardless, he would have won. But I'm just saying, the crowd were anticipating something to happen, anything.
Yeah.
So if Cena just like, the ref gets knocked out, hits him with the belt or hits him with a low blow or something like that, and then wins, like everybody's like, that's it, like nothing. We didn't get no interference at all, nothing. I think I'd be even, in the same boat one way or another. So
I would have preferred them have a good competitive match than Cena just cheats to win and another just on his own.
Yeah.
Where they said knock out the ref, whatever, chair shot, whatever he's got to do, than what they went with. Here's the other thing that's getting me: this whole Travis Scott thing. Even at WrestleMania weekend, he was with Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Doing press. How is that supposed to make any sense?
I don't know. We both had thought previously, or the video, that Jey Uso was gonna have a part in this. But everybody was thinking, giving predictions, giving their outcomes, and leading up to WrestleMania, that The Rock was involved in this. Everybody was expecting a third man. Everybody's whatever. So like everybody was just the whole time was just wrong, unbeknownst to us. We're all just thinking like, man, this is gonna happen. This is probably gonna happen. What if this happens? And we were all like, we had no clue this stuff was happening, I guess. But
I was just like, let's say the kids, like the eyes of a kid, like Jey Uso's a red hot babyface. You see him with Travis Scott, and then you see him with John Cena tearing down Cody. Yeah. What are you supposed to think?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
What did you like about Mania?
Those other two matches I said.
No, I like the 4-way match.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed Dom getting his win in his moment.
Yeah.
I'm such a big fan of his. I like him a lot. I like the kid a lot.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's really good. He knows how to work the crowd, whether he's a babyface or a heel.
Mm-hmm. I like watching even just like his regular like a red carpet interview, whatever they might do. He's just so funny and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are we missing? The Jey match wasn't very good.
Hey, the way it ended.
Yeah.
Why they make Gunther look like that? Come on, man. He tapped out in like 4 seconds.
I try to see people online saying it's part of Gunther's character to tap out quickly.
Nah.
Because apparently he has a history of tapping out immediately.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but
who's going to know that?
I could even be okay with that if he had more of like not a serious opponent, but like Jey Uso, like that's who taps you out in 4 seconds. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, my only thing is who's ever known Jey Uso to be a submission specialist?
That too.
I don't know.
That too. Yeah, I don't know.
What else was there? Nothing of note?
The Charlotte Flair match, whatever.
It was okay.
It was all right.
It was all right.
The Raw Tag Team title match didn't need to be there. After watching the SmackDown Tag Team match on SmackDown with the Street Profits, they should have been switched around. But then someone had said that the reason the War Raiders were fighting the New Day was because they were promoting that game that they keep pushing, like advertising.
I don't know, like
some kind of clan game or whatever it is.
Could be.
I don't know.
So, what is this? Is it? Some people are calling it one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
It's
not. It's definitely not in the top half for sure.
Okay.
It's not one of the worst.
No.
The worst, man, off the top of my head, it's hard to say. Whatever the one is that Cena and Miz main evented was pretty bad.
That was 27.
Is it 27? That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Um,
Some people are also saying like 31, 32, whatever Triple H main event of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it wasn't very good either.
Oh, we're forgetting about Joe Hendry.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That's fun.
I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had wondered. He was like my third guess. I thought Aleister Black or Rusev. That was like I did think about him, but I just didn't think it was a real possibility.
Yeah.
But I think the match was exactly what it needed to be. It was fun. It was competitive, but Randy got the win, which is you would expect.
Sure.
But man, that moment where he does he does his turnaround and Randy into the RKO. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Now I really enjoyed that. Plus, I mean, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I made him look weak," but I'm like,
nah.
I didn't think so either. He had a competitive match with Randy Orton, biggest card of the year. It was a big moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So,
other than those that we just talked about, I think there's a few more matches. Jacob Fatu is good. It was okay.
Yeah.
Glad he got the belt.
What's the other I'm thinking of?
That man is the future.
Chatty. Oh yeah, he is.
And he's coming.
He is.
He's here.
He's here. Yeah.
I think next is Solo Sikoa for him. Probably that's what it looks like. No, they have if I'm not mistaken, it's a fatal 4-way. I don't know if it's officially announced, but that's what they're going with for Backlash. Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre.
Okay. I'm sure.
Because this past SmackDown, I know you might have missed it, but on this past SmackDown, it was they had Drew McIntyre and I guess who was it? It was Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight. Damian Priest comes out.
Yeah.
Did you see where Jacob Fatu comes out at the end?
I don't know.
They're on the outside of the ring, like they're kind of fighting, but all you see is like you don't even see him come into the ring. You just see him dive through the ropes. He has like a whole ski mask on, like it's like takes him out and he just like rips it off. Man, he's so good, man.
Yeah, he's really cool. Man, you said something a second ago that made me think. Lost my train of thought. Something to do with Jacob Fatu. Oh, I was thinking about another match. It's not really. I said it didn't have anything to do with Jacob Fatu, but the Chad Gable match was decent as well.
Oh yeah.
I guess a lot of people were offended by that. You see that?
They need to stop.
I thought it was hilarious.
They need to stop, man.
I think it's hilarious. I love it.
They're thinking that, speaking of the luchadors, that since they TKO just acquired the AAA.
Oh yeah.
That supposedly he's gonna wrestle there as well. Like whenever they have their
good.
Whoever he fights or whatever, I guess whenever that event is, it's coming up. I don't know if it's a pay-per-view or whatever it is. Like the Worlds Collide. Yeah.
You ever seen the first one?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty cool. I've only seen it once, but Eddie Guerrero was on the original one. He had a tag partner named Art Bar. You ever heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they both. That's where he got the frog splash from.
Oh.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have seen it one time. Yeah. But I'll be watching though. I'll be watching.
That's not offensive. First, by the way, just
no. I don't.
It's just a storyline. It's funny. It's good. He's good. And he's good doing it.
He's very talented.
Man.
Yeah. Well, what about what we've seen so far since Mania?
Okay, so briefly, the night after Mania, Cena comes out.
Yeah.
He cuts his promo. Randy attacks him.
Yeah.
A lot of people expected Randy to be on the John Cena list somewhere down the line. I don't know if it's gonna be right away after WrestleMania, but in the absence of Cody Rhodes, I guess this is where we're at. But it was okay. I felt like the crowd was kind of dead in that moment. Like it wasn't as big of a pop as I wanted to hear for that. But we kind of get in that nostalgia. We've seen him 1,000 times, but never in this aspect with Cena heel and Randy face. So it's interesting.
That's why I said I think there might. I was kind of saying this on the way over here. I think they might be going into their greatest hits tour with Cena right now. We're going to see him versus Orton, see him versus Punk. We're going to see him probably versus Roman Reigns. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes against AJ Styles.
That'd be good too, yeah. Yeah, get him in there.
Yeah, he's going to knock out some of the classics, I think, along the way. I don't know where it's going to end. I'm sure it's not over with Cody.
That's right. That's where all roads lead to. All roads lead back. Yes.
For Cody to knock him off?
Yes.
As a heel or as a babyface?
I wouldn't be surprised if
they're both babyfaces going into it.
No, I anticipated that Cena would turn back to being a babyface somewhere in the year, but I can also see it happen. I can see him because the way they're building this up, or they have been, like he wants to kill this whole lineage of the title, what it represents, and all that stuff. Right? He wants to it stops with him. I don't see him going back to being a babyface with the title. But I can see if people want Cody to turn heel, I can see him turning heel in their match because they teased it at the WrestleMania match where Cody was going to hit him with the belt, and he kind of he thought about it, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So if they go back to doing that and it finishes that way, but Cody's going to be the one to knock him off.
I couldn't stand that. I could not stand that whole belt spot because didn't he not just nail Kevin Owens with the belt is it Saturday Night's Main Events or something like that?
Maybe. Or when they had that, yeah, I think so.
And what's the difference now?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
can't stand it.
There are always going to be little moments like that, I guess. It's not perfect, but I also don't care if Cody goes heel either. Some people want that. I don't care about that, but he has to be the one that finishes this, and I just think it's where it's going to ultimately lead. So, which brings me to Cena holding the belt all year long. We're down to 25 appearances, quote unquote, not matches, but appearances. I don't know if he'll wrestle at every pay-per-view, but however many pay-per-views are from now until December.
Not that many.
Which I think December pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber. It could be there, finishes there.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought Elimination Chamber is after the Rumble. Cena won it, didn't he?
Oh, wait. What's in December?
Something doesn't matter.
Okay, November is Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know what's in December.
Yeah, the Rumble's usually in January.
I don't know what his last pay-per-view is. I don't know what his last match is, where it's going to be or whatever.
It's a weird place to end. You would think Mania would be the place to end. I know. But
either way, Cody Rhodes, I'm sure he'll come back before then. But in my mind, that's where it leads to. And it's going to be, it's kind of what they're building up this John Cena, Randy Orton match to be. But it's basically going to be Cena, hey, I'm already here. We're at the end now. I'm about to be out the door. Nobody can stop me. He'll name the list of guys he went through. It's over, everything. And then Cody Rhodes' build or argument kind of be I'm going to be the one to save this history. I'm going to be the one to save this lineage, what it represents for my family, or whatever. And it's going to just be ultimate heel, ultimate face, and I think that's where it goes. But I think Cody gets him, and that'll be that.
Okay, let me ask you this. We seen the match. You just said it was a little slow. Cena's not what he used to be, which I wasn't even a big fan of what he used to be. But that being said, is he capable of still having a great match?
They're all going to be like the one from WrestleMania.
They're all going to be a little rough, right?
They're all going to be like the one from WrestleMania. Kind of slow, kind of boring.
No more classic matches for him.
No. Not where he's high intensity, I don't anticipate any match he has this year within the first 10 minutes. Man, this match is good. I don't think so. It's just going to be basic, but I think that he kind of feels, or they kind of feel that kind of feeds into his heel character. I don't need to be, it's just real, dude, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He's not an aggressive heel. He's just real,
he's kind of
I don't care about anything.
yeah,
I'm doing my thing. That's it. I don't anticipate any of those matches be it was a 5-star match. This is what it's going to be.
All I'm going to say is Ric Flair still had great matches as a heel.
I saw a post the other day that somebody was what AEW needs to do right now is have, and then there was a picture of Ric Flair with the world title, have him come out and win.
Oh, no.
Just pin somebody. It's just to troll him, but.
Oh, man. Flair slapping them shoulders.
Oh, God. Nah, but I think that's just where it goes.
Let's get a little bit onto this Braun Breaker deal.
Yeah.
So the next night, right, is when he aligned himself with Paul Heyman.
I love it, man.
I love it. I do. I just hate to see the breaking up of the Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman because I just loved that pairing for a long time.
Yeah.
I still remember when they didn't really announce it. He kind of just looks up at him. Yeah, that was great. So yeah, I'm gonna miss that. Plus, I also miss I like the pairing of Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Paul Heyman is almost complimentary to anybody you can put him with, just about. That being said, I do like. I don't know where they're going with it, but I kind of like what they're doing right now. So far, we got Seth Rollins and Braun, right?
All right.
There's a rumor out there that there's gonna be a third member.
Right. Maybe 4.
Probably. But that the third one is Becky Lynch.
I heard that.
Not a fan of that.
It's just, what do you do with her? There's not another faction out there with a female, when it was just example, the Wyatt Six, you have Nikki Cross, and the Judgment Day, you have Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan at the time. They feud, you got 2 girls to go at it with each other. But if she goes with them, like, what do they do with her? That's the only thing I question. Like, what would they do with her?
I
could just see her being like a nuisance. Like if they have a tag match, like for instance at Backlash, and let's say she was with them, she's out there with them, causing interference, like distracting the ref, like whatever. Like that's it. Or like she might get in the ring because she is a good wrestler, in my opinion. Like she's okay. Like get in the ring and like put her hands on somebody. I don't think they'll shy away from that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Here's what I was hoping. I've said this for even before they went with it. Is that Paul Heyman used to have a stable back in the day, WCW. They were called the Dangerous Alliance. And I was like, man, I would love to see a modern day version of that.
Right.
And I was like, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, two awesome.
Been saying that for a long time.
I have been saying this for a long time.
I'm seeing more people say that now. They're like, oh, it's a Dangerous Alliance, whatever. This dude's been telling me this for years.
True. I appreciate the credit.
Yes, I've been saying this for years.
I just didn't know who was going to fill it out.
Yeah.
I really thought it would be better for them to put like, I think Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins are like two good anchor characters.
Yeah.
To fill it in with some maybe lesser known guys.
I think too many people are looking at it like they want it to be like Evolution, and so
I don't care for that.
What fits the mold if they were going that route would be Austin Theory.
Yeah, that's true.
He would be like the Randy Orton. Braun Breaker would be the Batista. Seth Rollins is like the Triple H, and there's not Paul Heyman would be like the Ric Flair, the older whatever. But even though Ric Flair was active back then, that's how people are and thinking this is going to go. They keep comparing it to that, and they keep a lot of people want Austin Theory to come in, which he would actually fit well in that. He's completely underutilized right now, but he's a really good talent. Charisma, like he's got the look, everything, and young enough. I can see that happening, but I also don't see that stable being like super long term. Like Evolution was for years, but
see, I was telling you what my idea was. They put this Dangerous Alliance together. They're probably not even going to call it that, but if they did, or who knows, maybe they will. I don't know. They see if there's
some people's going to call it Revolution.
Really?
I don't know.
That's
what I maybe.
I don't care for that. Anyway,
yeah.
But if you had like Seth and Braun Breaker, and I threw some names at you,
yeah,
and I was like, man, I wouldn't mind like a Ethan Page in there.
Yeah.
You ever seen Charlie Dempsey? It's William Regal's son.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's like a smaller guy, but like does all like the technical, like, and he's got like a nasty look.
Okay.
Anyway, I was throwing names at you like that. I was like, just some younger guys fell out in my head. I was like, man, they're going to lead to a tag match, Punk and Roman versus Braun and Rollins.
Right.
And I was like, looks like Punk and Roman are getting the upper hand, and these three other guys just debut, right?
I think it's too many. You think they go that many on that stable?
Man, most stables have 5 or 6 guys.
No, I don't think
4 or 5. I wouldn't go more than 5, but you need at least 4 for a War Games match. Last year they had 5 on 5.
Yeah. It couldn't be so. As I'm saying,
Becky Lynch. The bloodline is the Usos, Solo, Sammy, and Roman. That's 5.
What about Punk? He's in this.
He's not in it.
He's involved in this.
Oh, I mean, in the group?
No, I'm saying like if they do War Games, if it leads to that, the Paul Heyman alliance, and then you have Roman Reigns, CM Punk, they're not going to leave him out of it.
I've seen people throwing this around.
It'd almost be identical to last year's War Games with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, or Jimmy, or whatever.
Actually, what I was seeing, which is even bigger than that, is a lot of people are saying they want to see like it would be like Seth and Braun, Cena, who's never been in a War Games match. Don't know who the 4th guy would be.
Whoever they add.
It wouldn't be Rock. Yeah, it'd have to be somebody else, and it'd be like Roman, Punk, Cody, and same thing, whoever they added on. But that could lead. I mean, that could be something where you don't necessarily have to have stables.
Do it like this. So you have the alliance with Breaker, Rollins, whoever they add, whether it's Austin Theory, build them up really good, right? Like they're dominant.
Yeah.
But don't involve Cena. But I would love to have Cena in it. And then you have Roman Reigns saying like, have it to where the alliance would be like Cena's not nowhere near involved in this storyline. Like he's just doing he's fighting whoever. Okay.
Yeah.
But then have them Paul Heyman kind of like, I think I got somebody like we need to find somebody, and then he ultimately brings Cena in like an ultimate like, you know what I'm saying? I would love that. I would freaking love that.
What if I would love it too.
And they'd have to win. They would have to win.
What if somehow between now and the end of his career, Cena becomes a Heyman guy?
I don't know. That'd be actually pretty cool if they could spin it some way. But
he's never had a manager.
Yeah. The War Games with that I could see also if they involve Cena, could lead if he doesn't get to Roman first, could lead to Cena Roman at like you know what I'm saying. Like they can kind of have some kind of a mix up or whatever inside of the War Games and kind of like
That's how we get the
leads to that.
singles.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be
something
maybe.
like that. But I would love that. Love that.
He's never been in a War Games match. I think he's probably going to want to be in one before he retires.
What if the alliance is like so dominant, whatever? Okay, let's get 5. I don't want to take too much time on this, but I'm just speculating. Even if they get Cena, whatever, but Roman Reigns is like they're out. You could just tell like they're like it's not level. Like it's not they're not outnumbered, but they're like power wise. You know, like man, like and then Roman goes and be like, I gotta call one more Family Guy, and he calls it like, gets Jacob Fatu, says like,
Jesus.
What do you think about that?
That would be nasty, but they're probably wishful thinking.
Think so?
Yeah, it's probably. I mean,
Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn's actually going to turn heel, so I don't think it's going to work out. Yeah, he's going to turn heel on Jey Uso, and they're going to feud eventually. So I don't think Sami would be in there, but it could be strictly bloodline: Roman Reigns, Jimmy, Jay, Jacob Fatu, and
Solo.
Nah,
Solo's so bottom of the. Yeah. Man, that brings me to another. Not to get off of that what we were talking about, but I started looking at the list of guys who just weren't on Mania. Well, Solo's one of them.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn is another one.
Yeah.
And there's several others. I could look it up, but there's several guys that just did not make the card.
The Boogeyman, he wasn't there.
And I'm just like, I've said this before. I stick by it. They just have too much.
Too much talent.
That's too much. Yeah. There is such a thing, I think, as having too many guys. And when you have to leave so many, when you have built in all these, like you just said, the whole match, the tag match, the SmackDown match that did make the card, right?
Yeah.
Why not fill your card with high quality matches like that?
Right.
Than what we got.
You have like, what was it, four matches each card or 5 matches each night?
Something like that.
And they're like an hour in between or something like that. They go to long breaks and like they're showing all this stuff. I hear what you're saying. Squeeze them in. But there's not enough time for storyline development to build for the most part. Another thing is the bigger guys, the Roman Reigns, the CM Punks or whatever, you can't develop storylines, especially when these guys come out and out of a 3-hour show, they're coming out in the beginning and cutting it. They're almost 30 minutes long.
See, it doesn't need to be that long.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're killing time for anything else.
You could do it in 3 minutes.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, and this maybe be the last thing we get on, but one of my favorite feuds, if you want to call it that, storylines of the last like 10 years was in NXT. And I don't know if you ever watched, it was Aleister Black when he was in NXT versus, I don't know if you've ever heard of, the Velveteen Dream?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, their storyline was so
Call
simple.
me up, Vince.
Oh, Jesus. Their storyline was literally, all it was is Velveteen Dream came out one day and told Aleister Black, say my name. And Aleister Black won't say it. And then for the next like 2 or 3 weeks, he's like stalking him, like a Goldust almost type style. Like Aleister Black would be right here, and then all of a sudden, like Velveteen Dream just rises behind his shoulder, and he's like, "Say my name." And then they had this match. The match was just sick. God, the match is so good. And one of my favorite parts too is, I know you probably may not know this, but Rick Rude back in the day, when he'd have a big match, he would take off his robe, and you see his trunks are airbrushed with him and his opponent on it. And Velveteen Dream had like Shawn Michaels style chaps on. Takes them off, and he's got him and Aleister Black airbrushed on his trunks. It was cool. And they end up having this sick match. Aleister Black wins. And Velveteen Dream's laid out in the middle of the ring. Aleister Black sits next to him like Indian style, like CM Punk style. And he says his name. He says Velveteen Dream. He says, enjoy infamy. And like throws the mic down. Yeah. And then, like, later on the show, they cut to Velveteen Dream in the back, and he's all beat up and, like, getting tended to. And all he says, he was like, he said my name. And that was the whole story. That was it.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, he got you invested.
Yeah.
And that was, like, they didn't spend a lot of time on promos. I'm like, how come the head writers, how come you can't do something so simple but feel so meaningful?
You know what they would do instead of saying, hey, we got to cut these promos a little bit shorter to get another storyline?
You got to cut matches?
No, they would just make a third night.
That's true.
They would rather do that. That's another true. 9-hour day starting on Friday.
It just ends up being quantity over quality.
I know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree. Anyway.
You want to call it a wrap for this one?
Yeah, we just wanted to touch up on all that.
Yeah, next week we'll get back to a real show, a regular
topic
schedule, regular everything.
And we're gonna get back because I didn't get an old classic match to watch this week. So
well,
next week,
figured we were going. I figured it was a totally different week.
Yeah,
we'll get back to normal.
Yeah, next week we'll get back. Appreciate y'all watching, man.
Yeah.
Comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
All right, later.
Later.